Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. And first of all, I am so sorry for being so completely MIA for the last few weeks. I definitely thought after I took that test that I had been talking about for months that, my life was going to get really easy and that I'd have so much more free time. And in some ways I do, but also sometimes that is not at all the case. And for the last few weeks, that was not at all the case. I was on a really demanding rotation, and more importantly, I was working on residency applications, which I am very relieved to say have finally been submitted. I am done filling out all the applications and picking. There was a thing they made us do this year where you basically pick your 12 favorite programs while knowing almost absolutely nothing about them except for what's on their website, which, it's kind of hard to gauge the vibe of a program from just the information on their website. So that was really hard, but I did it. The applications are in. Now I'm just waiting to see who invites me to interviews. So fingers crossed that I will get interviews from some programs that I really, really like and that I'm really excited about. So hopefully the worst part is over, but I will keep you guys posted about kind of how often I can be here. But for now, I have a lot more time. I hesitate to say that because I feel like every time I say that, it suddenly becomes untrue again. But right now I have time. And so today I kind of wanted to talk to you about some products that I have been using a lot lately. I've been pulling these products from my collection over and over and over again, which is kind of saying a lot because I have a lot of makeup. But I've been pulling these ones pretty consistently, and something that I noticed they kind of have in common is that they're all from the drugstore, number one. They're all, I want to say $15 or less full price, and you can definitely get them on sale. But number two, they're all really not talked about that much. I feel like these are some products I haven't heard very many people mention in their videos, but oh my God, I pull them out so much and I've just been really, really into them lately. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wanted to talk to you guys about these 10 products that I consider real hidden gems from the drugstore because I feel like more people should be talking about them and I want you guys to know about them too. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get into the video. So let's start with some complexion products. I have been using this foundation over and over and over again for the last few weeks, and I don't know, there's just something about it that just looks so skin-like and special. This is the Ulta Beauty Complexion Crush foundation. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that it's in focus. There we go. This is the Ulta Beauty in-house line. This is an absolutely stunning foundation. It has, I want to say, a solid medium coverage. You could probably build it to full if you wanted to, and it takes just the thinnest layer of product, so it doesn't ever build up in a way that looks cakey or thick or emphasizes your texture in any way. I would say the finish is pretty natural matte. It definitely doesn't really have any of that dewiness that I tend to like in lighter coverage products, but in stuff that's a little bit fuller coverage for a little bit more of like an event makeup, this is ideal for what I'm looking for. That's not to say you can't wear it on the everyday. The lasting power is phenomenal. It definitely dries down pretty budge proof. I just tend to prefer lighter coverage stuff on the everyday, but this is a perfect foundation for pretty much any kind of event you're looking for if you tend to prefer a little bit more coverage. I think full price, this is $15 at Ulta, but they run sales on the in-house line literally all the time, so I think I got it for less than 10. So highly recommend picking it up next time you see the Ulta Beauty line on sale because this is an incredible foundation, seriously. I can't really think of any skin types this wouldn't work for. If you tend to be oily, this dries down enough that I don't think it would really be much of an issue, and I'm very dry and I have absolutely no problem with the dry down, so it's just a great foundation. Highly, highly recommend the Complexion Crush. So another complexion product that I have been really into lately, and I mean, I've had it for a long time, but lately I've been pulling it out more and more. Technically, it's not a base product, it's a cheek product, but I use it as a finishing powder. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana. As you can see, it's quite pale. I can't use this as a bronzer. It's too light on me. So for me, this makes a really, really beautiful finishing powder. It has this texture that is so blurring. It is so smoothing and also has just a little hint of like a satiny shimmer. There's no glitter particles or anything like that, but it's just a hint of a satin kind of shimmer. And that is my favorite kind of finish in an all over the face powder. And so I absolutely love using this. This is honestly one of my favorite finishing powders in terms of how it just kind of airbrushes right over my complexion and makes everything look completely flawless. I honestly feel like I would rather reach for this than like my Hourglass finishing powder. It has that blurring quality to it that I feel like I can't really get in a lot of other finishing powders. So I don't think they sell this at like Ulta anymore, but I think you can still get it on Amazon. If I can find a link that works, I will leave it in the description box down below because I definitely want you guys to be able to get your hands on this. Let's skip around a little and talk about eyes next. So I'm gonna start with the brow product that I wanted to talk about for this video. And honestly, I think this product kind of inspired the idea for this video in general because I was just using it the other day and I was like, this is so good. And I never hear anybody say anything about it. I picked this up on a total whim one time just because I was curious how it would work. Around the time when the brow pen craze was really going off, like Milani had just put out theirs and NYX and Anastasia put one out and everybody was getting a brow pen. This is, I can fairly comfortably say, the best one I've tried. This is the Arches and Halos Fine Bristle Tip Brow Shaping Pen. Looks like this. I picked mine up from Target. I believe that's mostly where the Arches and Halos line is carried, but I believe I've seen it at Walgreens or CVS or something as well. Don't quote me on that, but I've seen it in several different places. I've also tried a couple of their other brow products, and those are very, very good, but this is by far my favorite. I absolutely love this pen. It has the perfect brush tip. It's so, so thin, and it's also perfectly pigmented. So a lot of my problem with other brow pens has been like the level of pigmentation. ColourPop's barely showed up on my skin. NYX's can kind of spit ink out, like it won't be very pigmented, and then you try to push a little harder and it's like ink. And then the Milani one for me had like a weird red tint and it kind of made my brows look like reddish purple. I didn't really care for that. But everything about this one is just perfect. It has exactly the right amount of pigmentation with just the right amount of pressure. It's really, really easy to use and make those brow-like strokes, but you can also blend it through with a spoolie really, really easily. It stays all day. Seriously, I cannot say enough good things about this brow pen. If you are into brow pens as a phenomenon, or you've been interested in trying one out, but you don't really know where to start, I think this one would be very beginner friendly. I want to say it's like $12 or $13. It could be more though, don't quote me on that. But honestly, in my mind, 100% worth it. So you can kind of see there on my hand what some of the strokes look like. Those are pretty fat for me. You can definitely make them thinner. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. Highly recommend. This little thing is a lifesaver. Another slept on gem from the Ulta Beauty line. I really feel like people don't pay enough attention to the Ulta Beauty in-house line. This is one that I heard recommended all of once in a YouTube video, but I've been such a sucker for liquid shadows lately that I was like, done, let's do it. And I have been so beyond impressed. This is the Ulta Beauty Longwear Matte Cream Eyeshadow. I have mine in the shade Game Over, which is kind of this pinky taupey brown shade. It's phenomenal. Seriously, I tried this on my eyes for the first time. I just wanted something really easy to use as like a transition shade because that's kind of been my thing lately. Throw in a transition shade, top it with some glitter and call it a day. Even better if it's a cream shadow. I've been really, really into that. So I picked this up when it was half off on Ulta Beauty, so it was $5. These are 10 full price, 5 when you can get them half off, which is fairly often. And I tried it, and literally I put some on my eye. I grabbed a brush, and I just went like, and it was blended. It's crazy how easy these are to blend. If you're new to cream shadows, this is by far the best, like beginner-friendly cream shadow I have ever used, and it's so cheap. I will absolutely be picking up another color of this because I think this is phenomenal. It has like a little doe foot applicator, and it's just a really beautiful, easy, pinky taupe kind of color. As it dries down, I feel like it does get a little bit darker than on initial swatch, but obviously it would be more blended out than that, so it's not quite that dark. Absolutely love it. Cannot recommend this enough. It comes in a few other shades, so if you're a little deeper than me, you should be able to find one. I don't remember the full shade range, but you should be able to find one that would still work on you. Phenomenal. Will absolutely pick up more. Cannot recommend enough. The last thing I want to talk about for eyes are these eyeshadow palettes that I have been pulling for a little bit more recently. And I don't think this is necessarily like a hidden gem, but I do think these specific ones are underrated. So we all know Juvia's Place makes incredible eyeshadows. They're super, super creamy mattes. They have really impactful shimmer shades, and I feel like pretty much everybody knows that by now. But everybody seems to talk about like their 16 and 9 pan palettes, but these little 6 pan palettes are so good, and I feel like they need more attention. So I have two of these. This one is the Taupes, which is just this beautiful, cool brown kind of color story. Really gorgeous tones in here. And one thing I love about this one is that it doesn't go so far in the cool brown direction. You can definitely pull a little more neutral or even approaching warm with this palette, which I think makes it really versatile for what's marketed as like a taupe palette. But this one is my favorite. This is the Mauves, and it is absolutely stunning. I'm sure you can guess what my favorite shade in the palette is just by looking. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to swatch it because you know I can't stop myself. It is this beautiful hot pink with like mint green shimmer in it. Absolutely ridiculous. So pretty. Look at that shine. And while I'm at it, just because I'm getting excited now, I'm going to show you my favorite shade from the Taupes palette too. I'm sure, again, it's easy to guess which one it is. It's this beautiful textured guy right here. And this one has like some blue, almost purpley and like pink shimmers in it. They're so shiny and impactful. There, I changed the lighting a little so you could get just a little bit better idea what they look like. Just absolutely super high impact, super shiny, super reflective, a little shifty. All of the things I love in a shimmer shade, basically. Just incredible. So I believe at full price, these are $15, but again, they definitely go on sale. I've seen them for like $10. I've even seen them as low as like half off, $7.50. So even at full price, I think they're absolutely worth it, but if you can get them on sale, why wouldn't you? And I absolutely love them. They have a bunch of different other colorways, and the formulas are so solid. Highly recommend. And I also kind of just love how easy it is to make a look out of them. Like, there's really no thought that goes into it. You just kind of, everything just goes together really nicely. And I've been super lazy about my eyeshadow looks lately, so I love that. Highly recommend. I love Juvia's Place, and I love these little palettes. Let's move on to cheek products. You know how much I love to talk about those. I'm gonna start with this highlighter. I almost forgot that I had this highlighter for a while, honestly, just because it's kind of a pain in the neck to use. It's a loose highlighter, and that can kind of be off-putting because it's messy, but oh my god, the look that I get from this highlighter is so worth it if I want to be like seen from space glowing crazy. This is the loose highlighter from Wet n Wild. This is the mini one, actually. The larger size one was huge. But this one was perfect, and it was only like $3. Again, I don't know for sure that you can get this at like normal beauty retailers traditionally anymore, but if I can find a link on Amazon or something, I will leave that down below as well. But this is in the shade I'm So Lit, and it is crazy. So it is kind of a pain in the neck to use a little bit. I usually just kind of unscrew it and use whatever is on the lid. But let me just swatch it really quickly and show you just how crazy the pigmentation on this is. Are you ready? It's so reflective. Let me turn down the lighting so you can see it a little bit better. It is so crazy shiny and reflective. I absolutely love it. This is absolutely like glowing, crazy high beam highlighter for me. Special event highlighter. So much fun. So yeah, between it being that shiny and kind of a pain in the neck to use, I kind of forgot about it for a while, but I've been pulling it out more lately just because I'm remembering how much I love it, and I recommend it highly. If I can find you a link to pick it up, you absolutely should. I may not be able to find a link to the mini one. So the larger size one I think was like $6 or $7. So you kind of have to be like committed to highlighter if you're going to pick that up, but I think it's beautiful enough to spend a little bit more on because, I mean, it's still cheap and it's crazy. It's crazy. So love this highlighter. Moving on to what you already know is my favorite thing right now, which is blush. I have two of these because I literally could not pick one, and I have so many blushes that the fact that I've been pulling for these fairly consistently says a lot. This is the one I've been pulling for the most, and the weirdest thing is that it's a powder blush, and I have been such a cream blush girl lately, but something about this one, I don't know, I just can't stop reaching for it. This is the Revlon blush in the shade Apricot. Something about this shade, I can't explain it. So the formula, first of all, is absolutely beautiful. It's super smooth, super pigmented, almost a little bit smoothing on the cheeks, really pretty. It's a little bit powdery, so you do get a little bit of fallout from your brush, but that doesn't bother me at all. It's something about this shade. I can't explain it, but there's just something so perfect about this shade on my cheeks. It's a little bit pink, but a little bit peach, and it just looks so natural and pretty. I have been using this so much. I have had another blush in this line before, and it was like full-on shimmery. This one's not shimmery, but it definitely has a little bit of like a satin finish. It's so easy to wear. So that is kind of what the shade looks like. It almost even looks kind of browny mauve in some lights. Like, this is just such a chameleon of a blush. Like, I feel like I can put this on with any look and it'll blend right in and look absolutely perfect. It looks like a nude blush. It looks like a peach. It looks like a pink. It looks like, I don't know. It's perfect. I love this. I think I got it on Amazon for about $9. I think the full price is higher, but on Amazon, sometimes things run a little cheaper. I think full price, it's like $13, which I would still pay because I think it's absolutely stunning, but you can get it for fairly cheap, and I absolutely recommend you do. Absolutely love this. This is a workhorse blush for me right now. I cannot put it down. So next I have another blush I want to talk about, and this one surprised me so much. So I picked this up on a whim. During 21 Days of Beauty, a lot of times they'll run a bunch of drugstore products on sale at the same time as all the big high-end deals. So I noticed the JCat Blush Mellows were on sale, and I'm a sucker for a cream blush, so I just picked it up on a whim. I thought the color looked really pretty. This is in the shade Thank You Berry Much. It's not really a berry color. It's like a kind of terracotta orange, but holy crap, this is so good. This formula is like a squishy, putty kind of texture. And at first I thought it kind of reminded me of the MAC Glow Play blushes, and it's like semi-similar to that, but I think it's almost a dead-on dupe for the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blushes. This formula is almost exactly like that. It's kind of cream to powder, but it's never fully like a powder texture. It's pretty creamy, but like in that matte kind of way that spreads out and kind of stays put, you know what I mean? Phenomenal pigmentation, blends like nothing. I was so shocked. I picked this up on a brush and I went and tapped it onto my cheek and I was like, oh crap, that's way too pigmented. But I started blending and it just blended like nothing. It was just so easy. Because I mean, I feel like we've all had that moment if you're a cream blush girly where you put the cream blush on and you're like, I messed up. And I had that moment. And it was perfect. It blended seamlessly. So this is kind of the shade, and like you can see it goes on fairly pigmented, but it is so easy to just blend out. Look at that. To this like gorgeous orangey terracotta-y flat. I'm obsessed with this. I will 100% be picking up at least one more of these. I absolutely love it. This is top-notch quality blush at, I think I got this for like $3.50. Like, actually, I think I got this for $3.50. It was on sale, but that means they're like, what, $5 or $6 full price? Absolutely. 100% recommend. These are so good. So finally, I want to touch on a couple of lip products that I've been really, really into that I feel like not very many people talk about. The first thing is a lip liner. This is from LA Girl. I have sung the praises of LA Girl in this channel many times, but I don't think I've ever talked about this specifically. This is the LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Lip Liner. It is somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 or $5, I want to say. It's fairly cheap. You can get them on sale sometimes too for like $3.50, something like that. It's just like a retractable lip liner like that. And this is the shade Nonstop Nude. The reason that I picked this up initially is because it was purportedly from somewhere, I don't remember where I heard it, a color dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. And I do think they're very similar. I don't think they're necessarily identical, but I love this for its own merits. The thing that I think is the most impressive about this, other than it's a very beautiful shade, I'll show you a swatch really quick, but the most impressive thing about this is the lasting power. So you can see it's a pretty little pinky nude shade. It's very similar to Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, but the lasting power of this lip liner is insanity. This is such a cheap little lip liner and it lasts forever. I mean, obviously, if you put gloss on over it, it kind of emulsifies it and it's going to smudge around. But like, if you put this lip liner on, like by itself as a lipstick, it would not move like ever. It is so impressive. I don't know. It's like a $4 or $5 lip liner. I don't know how they made it so budge proof, but it's remarkable. The formula is so creamy and smooth going on, so comfortable. It never tugs at your lips even a little bit. This is absolutely no question one of my favorite drugstore lip liner formulas. I feel like I'm constantly pulling this out of my lip liner drawer, keeping it in my purse. Like the little sharpener thing at the end went missing because I carry this around all the time. If I don't know what lip liner to wear, but I know I want it to last, I'm pulling this out every time. I love this stuff. And I feel a little less bad using this than using my Pillow Talk lip liner because it's cheap and Pillow Talk is not. By the way, just as like a demonstration, and it hasn't even had that much time to dry yet. Seriously. Highly recommend. LA Girl also has like a wooden pencil liner. This is not that. This is the retractable liner. So just keep that in mind. The ultimate lip liner. So good. And finally, I kind of saved you for the end a little 2-for-1 deal, a hidden gem from the drugstore and a dupe. So I picked up this CoverGirl lip balm. This is from the Clean Fresh line. It is in the shade Bliss You Berry. And it's just a tinted lip balm in this pretty berry color. It's really hydrating. It's semi-pigmented, but not too pigmented. And it definitely shears out on the lips as well. This is pretty much as pigmented as you can get it. But you can definitely blend it out to be a little bit of a softer color. And obviously on top of the pigmentation of your lips, it's this nice, soft, like kind of berryish, pinkish shade, you know? It's a really pretty color. I like it. But the reason I picked it up is because it was supposedly a dupe for Clinique's Black Honey. I've talked about Black Honey on this channel before. I don't actually love Black Honey that much. It's fine. I like the shade. The formula I don't love. It's not super nourishing and hydrating. It kind of sinks into my lip lines and kind of makes them look like wrinkly and weird. I don't know. I've never been big on Black Honey. But here's the thing. The shades of these are so similar, but I like the formula of the CoverGirl one so much more. It is so much more hydrating. It doesn't do that weird thing where it gets in my lip lines and makes my lips feel dry. And look at that. That one is the CoverGirl and that one is Black Honey. The CoverGirl one is actually a little more pigmented. This took me several more swipes than this. And this is blended out. This is just on initial application. Obviously, if you like the fact that the Clinique one is a little less pigmented, guess what? All you have to do with the CoverGirl one is kind of just like blot off, you know? And you can get it down to the pigmentation level of Clinique's Black Honey, but you can also build it a little more, which I really like about it. I feel like it's more versatile, it's more comfortable. I like pretty much everything about the CoverGirl one better than the Clinique one. And I never really hear anybody talk about it. Clean Fresh Lip Balm in Bliss You Berry. I would pick this over Clinique every time. I would pick this over Clinique's Black Honey in a heartbeat. And I think I got it for like $4 on Amazon. Full price, I think they're $6 or $7, but I got it really cheap. I'll see if I can find you a really cheap one and leave a link in the description down below for that one as well. I'll try to link everything. I'll link the cheapest version of everything that I can find. Usually that's on Amazon. So, just to help you guys out. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Those are my 10 drugstore hidden gems that I have been pulling out of my collection so much lately that I just absolutely had to share with you. I hope you got something out of the video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you have some fun new ideas for products you might want to pick up. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know by leaving a like down below and maybe leave me a comment. Let me know if you've tried any of these products or you've heard anything about them before, or if they are news to you like they were kind of news to me, because I feel like nobody's talking about them. So go forth, spread the word about these incredible products. If you want to see more from me, more recommendations, reviews, all of that good stuff, feel free to hit subscribe down below. I would absolutely love to have you. And until the next one, bye you guys.